Good evening everyone, welcome to SoccerMod. This is just a quick video to show you how language strings work. Somebody has requested it. I'll try and keep this nice and simple and as quick as possible. So, for example, language strings, where they come in handy. We have created some teams in the game and we need to make sure that when we see them in the game they have that team name and they don't just have sort of like a team name underscore 568 or a strange looking string. So what we need to do is we need to identify the teams that we've put in the game. So for example, we did Brazil earlier and the ID that I used for them was 11370. I need to put that language string into the database. So if I go to Legacy Explorer, I go to Data and I go to Look, you'll see here if you order by type you've got a list of the languages in the game. They've all got their own database. Now anything which is a language string is something which would change based on the language that you choose. So there are strings in the game where they don't change and therefore they wouldn't be in a language string file. Anything that changes throughout the game, so for example this here, FUT_legend_DESCR whatever, Rivaldo reached the peak of his international, that appears in the English database as this, but in the French database it's not going to be the same. It's going to be in the French language. It's going to have the same string ID, but the source text will be different. So what you will need to do is, I usually work on one language database at a time, and then once I'm happy with my mod and I'm going to release it, I'll release language packs later on. It's your decision how you do it. If you open that database, you will see two files here, language strings 1, language strings 2. Now like any other table in FIFA, in any other databases, it's got a limit of how many rows that you can put into these. And the limit is 65534. Okay? I'll release a separate video on that after this to go into why that is. But what you'll need to do, because that language strings 1 is at its limit, add anything new to language strings 2. Okay, it might be different for you. You might have space in your language pack to add more strings, but for me, I need to do this in language strings 2. Okay. So if I wanted to add a team, and I'll show you, for example, if you were to order this by string ID alphabetically, just go up until you get to team names. Okay, each team, when you create them, needs this team name underscore and then their ID. Okay, they also need team name underscore abbreviation 3, so this kind of format. They need the same for 15, which is here, underscore ABBR 15, and they also need 10. Okay, so if I was going to add this for Brazil, I need to go down to the bottom and do team name underscore, and it was 11370, the team ID that I was using, underscore, actually we don't need an underscore on the first one. Okay, and we'll order this again by ID just to make things easier. Okay, I need team name underscore 11370 underscore ABBR3. Okay, I also need team name underscore 11370 underscore abbreviation 10, and I need team name underscore 11370 underscore abbreviation 15. Okay, you might see 7 somewhere, so abbreviation 7. Don't believe that's used in the game anymore. Somebody please correct me if it is, but I haven't seen it for a long time. So you don't need to worry about that. This is how you would do it. So if I was to do Brazil, for example, they're going to fit very easily into these options here. Now, abbreviation 10, I don't want this to be longer than 10 letters. So if I had a country like, I'm trying to think of a country with a long name now. Yeah, let's think of a country that's got a long name. Sao Tome and Principe, maybe. Okay, if I was to use them, I need to cut this one down so it's not, yeah, it's not longer than 10 letters long. And this one, not longer than 15 letters long. Okay. And abbreviation 3 is how it is shown on the scoreboard in the game. So I think Brazil looks like that. Now, this third column here is a hash ID, and it's a reference to how the game finds the string that it needs. Now, the way that you get this is if you copy this string ID that you've set here, you go up to the top and click on Tools and Hash Generator, paste it in there, and you'll get this output. You can copy it using that button there and paste it into this box here. Okay, and do that for each of these. There you go. And when you save it, okay, I'm not going to do, but when you save it and go into the game, those strings will be updated. Okay? And you need to do that for whatever language you are using. And if you're going to be using more than one language later on, you'll need to change it in all of them. Okay. You will also have strings for other things like tournaments, leagues. For example, league name will have league name underscore abbreviation 15 as well. You'll need to set things like that. You are likely to see it in the game if you are missing a string. It'll have what the string is. So if we didn't have this, for example here, we would see in the game that string. We wouldn't see BRA, we would see this instead. So it gives you an indication of which ones you're missing. So you can make notes on a notepad or anything. If you're in the game and you see anything where it's not set correctly, you look at it and you say, oh, I'm missing that string in the database. So you make a note of it, come back out, add the language string, save it, and go back in. Okay? So I hope that's gave you a good overview of how language strings work, and I'll see you in the next one.